Hey gang, Professor Feeser here. I provide learning solutions to organizations. If you're looking for a learning pathway for your team or your enterprise, feel free to reach out. My contact information's at the end of the video. Gang, in today's lesson, we're going to explore installing AAP, Ansible Automation Platform 2.6 on a single VM, a small footprint. Small's in quotes because it's actually a big virtual machine, but this is perfect for an evaluation or a home lab where you need to explore, get better at playing around with AAP because maybe you're bringing it up and using it in your enterprise. To get started, you're going to need a VM with 4 cores. You're going to need 16 gigs of RAM. You're going to need 80 gigs of disk space, and ideally Red Hat Enterprise Linux operating system installed. You can get it to run on other operating systems, but Red Hat wants you to use RHEL. So if you have that available, give the project what it's asking for. After you've done that, go ahead and use your package installer to make sure you have Ansible-core and your favorite text editor available. So there I'm installing Ansible-core and Vim. Nothing to do, they're already installed, great. I'm going to create a place to work and then move into that. So in this case, just AAP is going to be fine. Next, I want to download the software. Now, Red Hat makes this really easy. Create a Red Hat account or sign in to your Red Hat account. You'll either have an entitlement to download the Red Hat Ansible Automation project, or you can request 30 days access to this project. Once you've done that, you can get to the download page like this. 2.6 is, at the time of recording, the latest version that they have out. Scroll down to where it says Ansible Automation Platform 2.6 Containerized Setup Bundle. So what we want to do is copy that link, and it comes with an embedded token built into it. So I'm going to paste that into my terminal, and it's important to put quotes around it. Now, if I run that as written, it's going to download a file that includes the file will be named, the token that's on there. So I'm going to give the -O and then put right after that -O just the name of the tar zipped up package itself. Ansible Automation Platform Containerized Setup Bundle 263 x86 64 tar GZ. I think I have that all correct. I'll hit enter and we'll download it. This takes a bit, so we'll speed up the video here in a moment. It will be downloaded. Okay, fantastic. Just like that, we have our software downloaded. Now there's another time-consuming step, which is going to be to unzip the project. So that's tar xfvz followed by the name of the tar zip that we just pulled down. Once again, this will take quite a bit of time, so we'll speed up the video and we'll be back just as soon as it is done. Wow, that was fast. Next, let's move into the directory that was just created. And you can see there's a number of files here. I'm going to move inventory to inventory.old. And we can take a peek at it. I can explain to you what you want to do. Effectively, the inventory describes to the Ansible playbook, which installs AAP, where you want things installed. So very much you can describe the architecture you'd like to lay out with just this file. That's pretty cool. Since we are interested in having this small footprint on a single virtual machine, what we're going to do is under every single heading: automation gateway, controller, execution nodes, hub, ready, so on and so forth, is set the same IP address, which would be the IP address of our local machine. So what do I mean by that? If I do an IPA, we can see that right here, right? 10.0.64.25 is the IP address of this machine. So I'm going to vim an inventory, and I'm going to paste into that inventory one I've already kind of prepared. It will have the wrong IP address in it. And this is actually one that is from 2.5. It still works in 2.6, so it tells you how similar those products are. That's why you see the comments about 2.5 in here. This is the IP address I want to replace everywhere. So let's just use a vim command for that. And before I do that, I just need 10.0.64.25. So %s, we want a 10.12.194.222. It was 10.0.64.25, and that's global. All right, so every single place I had the wrong IP address. Now I have the correct IP address. Just looking over the rest of the file, I put some, usernames. I put some passwords in place as well. But that's all the updating that you need to do there. Okay, so that's my new inventory file. All right, very good. We're almost ready at this point to run the install process. We've updated the inventory. I think actually, one last thing we could check. There are prechecks in the playbook that install AAP. And those prechecks are available here: Vim collections, Ansible collections, Ansible containerized installer roles, preflight, task, nodes. And what I mean by that is the assertions that make the playbook fail if you don't meet certain criteria are here. So is the user non-root? Are you on RedHat? Right? Are you on RedHat 9.4 or greater? Do you have 15 or greater than 15 gigs of RAM? Do you have certs in place? TLS turned on, so on and so forth. If you did have, if you wanted to try to run it with less RAM, if you wanted to experiment with ways to potentially, operating systems that you might be able to get it to run on, not that it would be supported, you have to turn off those asserts, or it'll be done right out of the gate. All right, so with that in mind, I think we could actually try installing the playbook. So to install the playbook, Ansible playbook-I, followed by inventory. That's the new inventory we created. Ansible containerized installer.install. That looks good to me. Everything I'm showing you here, gang, is available in the documentation on RedHat. The problem most folks have is some inconsistencies. I mean, if your goal is to get this project stood up, the RedHat documentation portal is very overwhelming. There's just a lot of PDFs. There's a lot of documents about installing. There's lots of ways they recommend that you can potentially install it. And if you don't know much about Ansible, what I just showed you, the idea that, oh, just edit this inventory and run this playbook command, that could be a lot for somebody to handle or be able to figure out through the docs. This does take a while, gang. It's about truly 30 to 45 minutes install. We'll walk away through the magic of video. We'll check back in. During the install, if it hangs like this, it will time out if it's truly not doing anything. Additionally, there are steps where it will, seems to every single time, repeat a failure, a failure, a failure, multiple attempts, and on the second or almost last, the ultimate attempt, 1 of 5, it'll just work. I've been trying to figure out, why that is. Ultimately, it just seems like services are coming up and maybe the timeout isn't long enough. I'm not sure if you add more resources, if that might change. But 2.6 does seem very stable, more stable than the install process of 2.5. So again, we'll let this go, and in just a moment, it'll be done. Well, there you go, gang. Successful installation. Now, if yours failed, you might just try a different version. If you're trying to install 2.6, try 2.5. If you're trying 2.5, try 2.6. Wait a couple days, pull down a different build. If it still doesn't work, copy the error and place it down in the comments. I'll work with you to try to get the install to be successful. Okay, the next thing to do is just go to our IP address and try to log in. So let's try that. Okay, gang, there you go. If you go to the IP address, HTTPS port 443 of the IP address we used in the inventory for the install, you should be looking at the sign-in for the RedHat AAP platform. To get in, you're going to use the username and the sign-in password that you also put in the inventory. That should get you, at this point, to the manifest screen. This is where you'd apply your licensing. And if you've selected a 30-day evaluation, you can find that in your subscription options. It's part of the subscription manifest options. You build yourself, you get at this time 100 hosts entitlements, and you can either pull those 100 hosts out as a single license or describe that you want a slice of hosts to use, 20, 25, some subset of that. Once you have that downloaded, you just upload it here. I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. Wow, gang, an installation of AAP just like that. Not too bad. Now, through the magic of editing, this video is pretty short, but I would budget about an hour for the install itself and probably another hour the first time you're getting set up and going through the download process itself. Gang, I hope this video helped you out. If it did, give me a like, give me a subscribe, because I want to see you in the next episode of Code with Feeser.